Good morning. Welcome back. Good to see you again. It is a rare afternoon workout here at the Iron Clinic. Had some errands to do this morning. We had to go pick up one of the dogs, Moko, from his show dog responsibilities a couple hours away. So with about 4.5 hours of driving under my belt from this morning, I was able to get back home and get this workout planned and scheduled for the middle of the day, which it's actually kind of nice in here. It's about 75, not too humid. The fan's going. Both of the dogs are here, and it's going to be a good day. We got a back day planned, a pull day, a back and biceps day. We did some cardio this morning before we left to go pick up Moko. Did about 30-ish, 35 minutes of some interval training on the bike. We had to leave fairly early to go pick him up, so that's all I was able to squeeze in this morning. But got back in at a reasonable time, and it's very nice in here. So we're going to get in this pool day here as we've scheduled. As you can see from today's workout, it is still a deload week, and we're changing up a lot of the exercises. I'm gonna be throwing in some Pendlay Rows. I haven't done any kind of barbell-based rowing in a little while, actually. So I'm excited to get these back on schedule again, rep these out for some time, and see how they feel. It has actually been quite a few months since I've done them, and I don't actually remember the last time when it was that I did them here in the gym. Certainly at least last summer. So perhaps even about a full year since we've done any kind of barbell rowing in a Pendlay style. Aside from that, nothing too insane that you probably haven't seen or heard of before, except for perhaps the reverse dumbbell swings. Those are going to be akin to a reverse dumbbell fly, but with swings, what we're going to be focusing on is a heavier weight and really actually literally swinging the weight out and controlling it on that negative versus trying to bring it all the way back and obviously back down as well. Dumbbell swings are heavy, they are meant to be heavy, and they are meant to be controlled because they are heavy. So we're really focusing on that controlled negative with those. We will also be accompanying that with some barbell shrugs immediately after that. We may even superset them, who knows what the day has in store for us. But combined with those heavy swings, we're gonna do a lot of damage to our rear delts and our traps and get into good work there on the back. So let's not waste any more time. Like I said, it's nice in here, but it's not too nice. It's still pretty warm. We definitely need to stay hydrated, and we're going to be talking about intra-workout supplements and hydration today as well. So let's get after today's workout. I'll see you over there. Some Pendlay Rows. It's been good to have this deload week to really ease the mind and the body into the next training block that we're starting here. I believe I've mentioned this already, but when we combine the lifting that we're doing with the running, even though the running might only be 3 or 4 times a week, that's a substantial amount of running to add on top of the daily lifting that we're doing. Because of that, our body is experiencing a greater toll than it normally would. It's needing more nutrients, perhaps more vitamins, more calories, certainly. But in addition to that, it's summertime and we're sweating a lot. And so we're going to be needing more water, more electrolytes, more sodium, all of those things to keep it moving. It's one of those things we have to be cognizant of when we're exercising, period. But especially in the summertime, if you're working out in a not climate controlled gym like I do, you certainly need to make sure you're keeping yourself hydrated and supplied with enough electrolytes. As we've discussed before, the fitness industry is just rife with terrible information, bad practices, and people trying to sell you wonder drugs. Along with that comes a boatload of supplements that you may or may not need. There's plenty of good supplements out there, plenty of good things that can help aid in your recovery and how strong your workout is, and aid in getting ready for that workout. But the majority of them are pretty worthless. Prime suspect number one, BCAAs. You don't need them. You don't. You don't. I know they taste good. I know you like your blue raz, cotton candy flavored, whatever, BCAA mix. Don't get me wrong. They taste good. They're great. Could you gain some marginal benefit from them? I mean, maybe if your diet's really poor. But here's the thing. If you're getting enough natural protein in your diet, no, then you're not going to be needing those. You're getting enough day to day, I promise you. So BCAAs are going to be an enormous waste of money and resources for you. And you're going to end up taking those BCAAs right into your mouth and right into the toilet later on when you use the restroom. Don't go wasting your money on stuff like that. When we talk about good supplements for intra-workout stuff, I don't like to make it any more complicated than grabbing either some flavored Mio, zero sugar Gatorade, or zero sugar Propel. It's that simple. You're really not going to be needing a ton in the middle of your workout unless you're doing extreme workouts that are lengthy, that are tiresome, and that are maximizing every single ounce and store of energy that you have in your body. Now, from a hydration perspective, maybe it's just water, maybe it's just Propel that you're needing during that workout. And I do largely believe that that's what the vast majority of people are going to need. Sometimes, though, a workout can get so intense and so long that we actually need to fuel ourselves during the workout. We need quickly digesting carbs to really get things moving in our digestive tract and into our body so that we can use it as fuel as quickly as possible. You'll see various lifters at times eating some sweets, gummy bears, Sour Patch Kids, those types of things, which are, at the end of the day, chemical sugars like dextrose that are going to really allow your body to digest that sugar quickly and get that fuel into your system fast enough for you to use during your workout. If your workouts aren't at that 90 minutes plus mark, you probably don't need to be worrying about that. If you're working out for the average range of 30 to 60 minutes at a time, it's almost certain that you're not going to be needing any intra-workout fueling to achieve your goals. This is especially true if you're trying to lose weight. You definitely don't need to worry about eating while you're exercising. But you can keep that tool in your tool belt should you find yourself encroaching on that 90-minute plus mark where you're working out for so long that it might be good to have some kind of snack or small meal in between your various lifts. Now, it doesn't have to just be candy and sweets like that. There's a time and place for those types of things, but there's also a time and place for simple carbohydrates. And when I say simple carbohydrates, I mean rice. Rice is a very simple carbohydrate. It's why you hardly ever hear, if ever, of somebody being unable to digest rice or allergic to rice. It's a very simple carb to get into our bodies and systems. Generally, when I wake up first thing in the morning, I'll have cream of rice as my pre-workout breakfast. Just a little bit of cream of rice with some peanut butter and sugar-free chocolate syrup. It tastes like a Reese's peanut butter cup, and those quick digesting carbs will get into my body so that I can use it quickly and efficiently during that workout and fuel the workout ahead of me. If you were to do the same thing with oatmeal, for example, those are going to be much more complex grains. Those are going to take a lot longer for your digestive system to adequately digest and absorb into your body to make use of the nutrients therein. So this is why you'll see various athletes and lifters alike eating things like rice cakes, Rice Krispie treats, or even just rice-based cereals and breakfast foods. It's very simple to digest, and that's why it's also a staple in most lifters' diets. When you're eating that much food, you don't want to be throwing all that gluten into your body. It's tough for our bodies to digest that, no matter who you are, whether you have an intolerance or celiac disease or not. Lastly, there's also obviously always the option of literally just buying some dextrose powder and throwing it into your intra-workout drink. That way you can effectively drink the candies that some people may be eating throughout your workout. I do that occasionally when things get really tough, especially on a bulk, when I'm trying to increase the intensity of those workouts as far as I can. I'll throw in 2 or 3 tablespoons of dextrose powder usually just 2. It doesn't have much of a taste, but too much of it gives a little funky flavor to the water. And that can give me that added boost consistently through the workout as I'm drinking that liquid and bringing it into my body over the course of the whole workout. Now, we've already mentioned it briefly, but it would behoove us to talk about it a little bit more in depth. Did you know that the average American is getting about 50% more sodium in their daily diet than they're supposed to be getting? The daily recommended intake for sodium is only 2,300 milligrams a day. That means the average American is consuming about 3,600 milligrams per day of sodium. And we know how averages work. There can certainly be people consuming a lot more than that, but also a lot less than that. Now, 2,300 milligrams might not sound like a lot in quantity, and it's not. In fact, if you go into your kitchen right now, go grab your scale and measure out 2.3 grams of sodium, and you'll see that it really isn't that much from a quantity standpoint. However, with as much processed food as the general population eats, it's in a lot of the things we're consuming on a daily basis because it's used not only for taste, but also preservation. Too much sodium can impact our overall cardiovascular health, but it's not a net negative overall. We do need it. It is a vital nutrient because it's what allows our body to control our plasma levels, and it's what we use consistently when we're sweating and exercising intensely. Now, the daily recommended intake is 2,300 milligrams. But when we're exercising, we're using those sodium stores. And so an athlete is probably going to be needing more sodium in their day-to-day intake. This is not medical advice per usual. I am not a doctor. I don't have any kind of degree to tell you what kind of sodium levels you need to be taking. I can only tell you what's recommended, which is 2,300 milligrams a day. But additionally, what's recommended, usually, is about an extra gram of sodium per hour of intense exercise. So if you're exercising for, let's say, an hour to an hour and a half, and you're sweating profusely, you're working hard, well, you're probably going to be needing about a gram of additional sodium. That's up for you to measure and figure out. You are an individual, and as we've said numerous times on this channel, every single body is different. Everyone's needs are going to be different, and what you have to consume day to day is going to be different. You can't just apply a black and white rule across the board. But science has shown us that approximately let's say you're like me, and on average you're exercising twice a day. Well, maybe we need 1 to 2 extra grams of sodium a day. It really depends on so many different factors, including how much you're sweating, how hot it might be, which may cause you to sweat additionally, but also how much sodium you're getting throughout the day from your day-to-day diet anyways. These are all factors we have to take into consideration. Now, you may be asking yourself, how can you get additional sodium? Well, it's pretty simple. You can obviously put it on food as you're consuming it, but there are some people who actually like just taking some salt and putting it into their intra-workout drink as well. It's not a bad way to increase the amount of sodium you're ingesting throughout the workout because you're going to be losing it as you're sweating, but you're also ingesting it at the same time. So it's a good way to replenish. And you don't need a ton of it so that your water tastes like salt water. It's going to be a little bit salty, but not a crazy amount if you're doing it smart. Again, go into your kitchen, grab that scale, and measure out 2.3 grams of sodium. That's all you need for the whole day for the average person who's not exercising. You're not needing a lot. We're talking like teaspoon amounts of sodium per day. Man, I'll tell you, these heavy swings, they never feel like they should be as exhausting and tiring as they are, but if you do them right, they are. The trick is to make sure 2 things happen. One, which is actually something that shouldn't happen, you don't want those dumbbells touching. The dumbbells or kettlebells that you're using clanked together, you didn't control it enough. I'm gonna bring them down with good control. So if it touches, the rep doesn't count. Do another one. The second thing is to only bring them up so far so that you don't engage your traps at the top of that movement. The higher we get up here, the higher likelihood we're going to have of engaging our traps as a secondary muscle, an assisting muscle in that movement, and we don't need that. Bring it up until your rear delts can't do it anymore, and then let it come back down with control, people. I'm telling you, it's a great finisher for those rear delts. Generally, we want to be doing these higher rep ranges, 12 to 15 reps, sometimes even as many as 30. So actually, on this next set here, it's exactly what we're going to do, 30 reps. Let's crank it out.
Come on.
So what's the overall message today? Well, just don't waste so much money on supplements that you don't need. As we said at the beginning of the video, the fitness industry is rife with people trying to sell you things that you most likely don't need. The things you really need are usually readily available for you at home or for exceptionally low costs. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some supplements that truly do have some very beneficial use cases. And we could spend a whole nother video talking about the supplements that I believe in and what I have found over the decade plus of experience that I have doing this stuff, trying various things out for my body and figuring out what works for me and others. But by and large, most of those things are staples that have been around for a very long time. They're tried and true, they work because they're effective, and the test results speak for themselves. A lot of stuff though, it's just someone trying to sell you something because marketing has made it sound like a good thing that you need. And in reality, you probably don't. Keep your sodium in check, make sure you're drinking enough water, fueling your body enough with good carbohydrates and proteins and fats, and you're gonna have the really good building blocks that are gonna be necessary for you to succeed and grow in both size and strength. If you can do that, you're gonna be ahead of the field, 90% of the field. But if you wanna get that extra 10%, well, that's where you've really gotta start dialing it in. That's where you've really gotta start honing in on the various small pathways to success that can be available with certain supplements and regimes that otherwise may hold you back from getting to that top 10%. But how many of us are actually trying to get to the top 10%? Don't get me wrong, I wanna be more than average every single day. The 90 percentile is certainly way above average. But if we want to push ourselves, if we want to excel, if we want to continue to improve and have visions for ourselves that are further out in the future, that involve more success, more strength, more size, whatever that thing is, in or out of the gym, well, we're going to have to do the things that are going to elevate us and push us to that next level. And perhaps that supplement you've been neglecting is that thing that can take you there. For example, if you're not taking creatine, take it. You need to be taking it. I'm telling you, you're almost certainly not getting enough creatine in the red meat that you're consuming day to day and week to week. Creatine is a vital supplement for anybody who's serious about their exercise. It's going to help you, it's going to allow you to excel and succeed, and it's only going to better you every single day that you take it. Let me know down in the comments if you have questions about a specific supplement or vitamin or nutrient. I would love to discuss those further with you guys. And if you have questions about subjects that I haven't covered before or didn't talk about today or aren't even related to nutrition, leave it down in the comments. I'd love to respond to those either in the comments or do a whole video on those if there's enough interest. So let me know what it is you're curious about, what you want to know more about. We'll try to plan for a video in the future to cover those subjects and topics that are important to you. Great job showing up today, everybody. Thanks for being here. It's been a fun little afternoon workout, something different for me that I don't normally do. And it's good to get outside that box every once in a while. It's been kind of warm. As you can see, I'm moderately sweaty, but honestly, been pretty comfortable in here for this whole exercise. So I'm not complaining by any stretch. It has been way hotter some of the mornings we've had in here recently. So I'll take the light fan and the 80 degrees that we've got in here with no humidity any day of the week. Once more, thanks for showing up, y'all. I'll see you guys soon. Keep being great. Keep working to be more than average. See you soon.